When should you call your next supply run? Why can't your units resupply right after fighting someone? And can you use supply points as mines to explode in your opponent's face? Good day, my name's Corin, and all of these questions will be answered in today's episode of Broken Arrow Secret Skills. Let's begin by going through the 3 fundamental rules that factor whether units will resupply or not. First is if the unit is aiming at something. In this case, hold fire doesn't work, so you'll have to either lose line of sight or disable the guns manually. The second is that the intended unit is moving inside the resupply point. And third, units will continue to resupply under fire until they are panicked or pinned. Of course, if you're sitting on an ally supply point and they turn resupply allies or share with allies off, you wouldn't be able to take or use them. But to be fair, I think this is standard courtesy to bring and use your own resupplies. Sometimes you might be able to guess where an unspotted supply point is when you see an enemy's health bar regenerating. Note that the green resupply icons won't show in PvP matches. If you happen to stomp on your opponent's supplies, you will claim it if no enemy units are within the zone. However, if enemy units are in the zone, the ownership will not change, and units will continue to resupply until the supply point either gets blown up, or one of the 3 supply rules we mentioned earlier happens. Speaking of supplies blowing up, I have yet to figure out everything about it, but I can tell you everything I know about it. The supply point blows up when any kind of projectile touches it, friend or foe. It will then result in an explosion similar to that of a high explosive bomb. The size is that of the supply point itself, while the damage depends on how much the supplies were present. As you can see, unarmored vehicles sustain the most damage, followed by small infantry squads, light armored vehicles, and then tanks. Regardless of the units that are resupplying, a universal suggestion would be to always resupply at the edge of a supply point. And for vehicles to not have their rear armor exposed to the center. Supplies also don't affect your upkeep. Therefore, calling in supplies at the beginning of a match is totally reasonable. If a unit needs to return to base, always heal it back up to full HP. The rule of thumb is, returning a low HP unit will refund only half the price when full HP units will be offered at a 90% deal. For the rest of this video, I will be covering the amount of supplies and time it takes to heal, repair, and resupply consumables. Holy shit! Anyways, commonly found on units, but their resupply values are nowhere to be found in-game. Do be advised that this will include some numbers, so if you are allergic to math, then now is the time to tab out. Starting off with infantry, each infantry model takes 4.83 seconds and 100 kilograms to reinforce, while smokes will take 10 seconds and 50 kilograms of supply. For vehicles, smokes will be double the number, taking 20 seconds and 100 kilograms each. While APS chargers require 10 seconds and 200 kilograms each. Do note that although consumables are supplied as ammunition, they restock at the same time instead of one by one, meaning the total time spent on the supply point depends on whichever takes the longest, which for an MBT is usually the smokes or APS, and that would take about 40 seconds if you used all their charges. Helicopters have flares, and being quite expendable as they are, they need 3 seconds and a whopping 100 kilograms each. And since they often run out of flares fairly quickly, they are quite the beast when it comes to consuming supplies, I must say. As for vehicle repairs, each health point lost takes about 73 kilograms of supplies and will spend you 2.83 seconds. This is universal for all units. For example, a T-15, a Humvee, and a helicopter would need the same downtime after losing the same amount of HP. And it doesn't really make sense in reality. I know, it makes no sense at all, you know, high-tech tanks versus a truck. But for the simplicity of the game, I believe that is the case. Alright, that's going to be it for today's episode of Broken Arrow Secret Skills. Found this video helpful, please don't forget to smash the like button and please subscribe. Maybe we'll reach 1,000 subscribers someday, and it would be absolutely big. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and have a nice day.